Hi everyone, Balnor here today with a new video about Gilgamesh. I'm going to talk a bit about my new build I'm using in dungeons. I have to thank Ratakor and all the members of the Yotu family, so Jotunheim and all the other kingdoms, because they helped me with this build. So I think this kind of videos I never spoke in them, but just show stuff. So in this case, I would like to talk a bit more. The main change compared to my previous setup, I'll drop a link in the description about it because there is an article in Orna Legends about my previous build, so you can dig a bit more in that one. The main changes to my current build compared to that one is the pet. So I'm currently using the Ashen Phoenix while I was using the fake Chimera. And then in this case I'm using this setup. So the goal of this build is of course farming horns and also gold. I have two legendary Band of Gods. I have two because I'm currently Oracle. Of course, if you're not Oracle, you can use just one. In this case, I'm using the 25% boost accessories amethyst, so they improve my Band of Gods even more. But yeah, Oracle is okay for me because I have 46 ascension level, so maybe if you are I don't know, not 250, or you are you don't have really good abilities, or just you need a bit more of stats, etc. Maybe you can go Cataphract, or maybe it's Fencer if you're using this build also for the dungeons. You can go Ranger, you can go whatever you want. I'm just using Oracle because of maximizing Orn's farm. So, this build has the Horizon Avalon leggings. These ones are my best legs for, let's say, overall, because they have ward, they have a bit of HP, mana, and attack thanks to all the jewels of creation I put it in. It's a really solid piece for Gilgamesh. I have then a court jester outfit. So this one is the go-to chest for farming horns and gold, of course. Then I have the new mimic head. So this one is the mightiest mimic. So it's a piece that has no stats, but it allows you to get more horns, gold, and drops because of luck. Of course, you don't see the bonuses here because I'm in the screen, so maybe I should go here. So let me show you. Oh, I think you have to search it this way. Okay. Yeah, so 60, 65, 65, superior jewel of creation for my chest. I then have the mightiest. Yeah, the mightiest mimic head. It was, I think, a standard one. You have experience, luck, gold, and horns. Famed jewel of creation. I still didn't godforge it, but hope to get it in these days. Legs as have no bonuses, but then I have the let me show you all the pieces. The Band of Gods. So they have 80 plus 80 gold, horns, and experience, but with one of those 25% boost, they get to 100, and with two of them, I get to 125%. So they're really strong for farming horns. Then, aside from the change, as I said before, of the Ashen Phoenix, in this case I dropped the crit. I was using a crit build, now I'm using a pet action rate build. So my axes, so my weapons, are two questing, so I'm dual wielding them. That's the best way currently in the game to get horns. Maybe the game is tricking you if you look at the bonuses while dual wielding, but yeah, I'm sure this is the best way to get horns. So in this case, my main axe has 5 blackened eye, so with the 2% forward action rate, and 1 Ashen Ruby to help me out with lifesteal. Of course, I don't have fake Chimera, so I don't need too much of lifesteal, so 1 is fine. And then the other one, so in the second hand, just have blackened eye. Of course, I don't have many superior, etc. So I'm just trying to get the max action rate, but they also have ward, a bit of stats, so they are not bad. So let me go back here. Okay, so you can see this is the setup. Let me show you the stats. Of course, as I said, I'm Oracle, so yeah, it may be better, but it's fine for me. So I have 18k HP, almost 30k ward, almost 5k attack, yeah, and almost 4k defense resistance. So, as I said, I'm not using crit, so what's my main dealing skills? The main one is 3-cut 2. It costs 50 mana and it deals a good amount of damage, especially when my Ashen Phoenix triggers Deific Channel. Also, this setup, the goal is to be fast, so what I'll be doing, I'll show you in a minute, is I'll just use Gunner, Bear, and Warcry, so I won't use Ortanite. So the main idea is buff the attacks and just spam 3-cut 2. If I go to 0 ward turns, I'm using Warding Strikes 3. That is a good damage dealing skill and also gives you some ward turns. But yeah, normally the Ashen Phoenix helps you keeping ward turns, because when the Phoenix casts Deific Channel, you get ward turns. And then I have some utility skills, so Elementless, because my weapons have the Dragon element. I have Wyvern Strikes, so if I get Elementless, then I can still hit stuff like the Arisen Gazer. I have Osmo Strikes 2 to lifesteal if I'm low in HP, Standard for the Mystic Feather enemies. And then I have Diffuse Ward if I'm using hard dungeons and I need mana or maybe even HP. And then Ward of Ortanite, because in this case, as you can see, the slot 11 is empty. What I normally do is using this setup as the base also for Ward mode. So in that case, I switch to Zweifencer, I cast Ward of Ortanite, I change maybe my second weapon to a shield, and I use Sweep here. So that's why this one is currently empty. But if you're not doing Horde dungeons, or you are used to change maybe the set using something else, maybe you can just put something useful here. So let's try a couple of dungeons. So I'll go 1 Moss and 1 Hard. So okay, so as I said, let's try to just buff. So Gunner, okay, action rate is pretty huge, so we got Deific Channel up first turn. Let's take a look also at turns while we run this dungeon. So Bear, so 3 rounds of buff. The other case in the past with the other build I using also Ortanite and the Wyrms for crit, no longer needed. As you probably saw up here, the Deific Channel dropped, but she already casted it again. Of course, yeah, the forced enemies are not a problem. Also in hard dungeons, I don't use the Elementless skill unless I get, of course, an enemy that's immune. In boss mode, I prefer to use it because there is Gilgamesh with resistance, Beowulf with immunity, also Mammon has a resistance. So yeah, in that case, I normally cast it at turn 1, but in this case, let's try. Of course, if you get like multiple enemies with immunity, that's not the best, but yeah. So let's go. Of course, 3-cut deals a good amount of damage, and cost not too much mana. So with my stats, I'm able to run through all the dungeon without caring too much about mana. Also, I'm using Bear instead of the Mimic Mischief, because so I'm not getting Curse, and also the defense down and resistance downs help me, so if I get a couple hits I get my mana back, so it's fine. Also, not using Word of Ortonite, you have the absorption to 50%, so your ward don't get too low when you get hit, and so the ward is recharging by itself because of Gilgamesh passive, and HP sometimes gets healed by the only Ashen Phoenix sorry, the Ashen Ruby I have. So that's a good balance. Also, let's go with the boss mode. So also, as you can see, I have around, let's say, 20k HP and 30 ward. So the idea here is, yeah, the ward is 1.5 of my HP, and so even if I get to my worst enemy, that's the Fallen Real Shifter, it's like I have 50, because let's say 20 plus 20 plus, it is more damage to ward. So having 50% of absorption, it's not bad. So I can go, I can tank better, let's say, and not getting in a case where you have 0 ward and a lot of HP. They both go down at the same time, around the same time. So yeah, that's I really like. Also, having less turns to buff up is helpful, especially if you are grinding and maybe you're doing several dungeons. Because you're taking less time, and in Orna, of course, especially in endgame, lesser time means efficiency, means you are doing more stuff, or you have less time spent in the game, so you can optimize, and so that's really what I like. Also, having the crit build, I was using the ice in the weapons, but I was using fake Chimera, and in this case I'm using the Ashen Phoenix, and I'm happy with it because I can use also the Ashen Phoenix in PvP, so in my daily setup. Oh yeah, let's move to Elementless. So Tricat deals 66, while Guardian Strikes deals 151. Yeah, not bad. Can just kill stuff with attack button too. Yeah, sometimes I forget about this. So sorry, I was saying, in this case, since I'm using the Ashen Phoenix both in my PvP setup, both in this setup, I have packed action rate adornments in my weapons, so I can, Ashen Phoenix is a really good pet for PvP. Fake Chimera wasn't. It's okay, but not that amazing for PvP. So I think Tricat, okay, we are a bit close in mana speaking. So if I had more enemies, I would just spam Diffuse Ward a bit more. So one Diffuse Ward, you get back to full mana, and that's it. Let's go with another boss, and then I think the showcase is completed. So Gunner, Warcry. Gunner is good, of course, for melee, but the Phoenix has some magic skills that they don't deal damage once you run Gunner. I still prefer to run Bear as my last skill, because maybe, of course, the problem with using this kind of builds, so we don't have that much defense resistance. We have all the down stats here, the down debuffs. So if you're getting, I know you're fighting a Berserk, Fallen Real Shifter, Berserk, tier 10 boss, probably you may be in trouble, because we don't have 80k ward, we don't have a lot of defense, so they just can one shot us, maybe two shot us even if the Ashen Phoenix has a slow percentage to protect, that's really interesting. Also for PvP, if you have an protect MET, I think it might be really good for the Ashen Phoenix. Anyway, yeah, of course, this setup is okay, but yeah, it's not super tanky, so you have to remember this. But yeah, hopefully you don't mess up with too many dungeons, and so it's still better to use. Oh, nice. To use this one compared to other setups. It's not even that complex to build. Of course, you have to have some blackened eyes, even normal ones. So if you pass it through an event, hopefully if you are tier 10, probably you did. So in that case, okay, let's just do the diffuse ward just for fun. So in that case, yeah, you need 2 axes. You need those. Maybe if your axes are not God forged, you have less slots, so maybe you can use an MET that boosts the pet action rate. Maybe that's helpful. Yeah. Then of course, if you're doing maybe Valley of Gods, you're doing some different stuff like yeah, some complex dungeons. So battlegrounds, probably you may have to change couple sets, couple items. I think a complete different. So the dungeon horde strong, this one for example. So I just switch to those and just yeah, be fast. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about this setup. As I said, I have to thank Ratacore for the hints on the Trika 2, and also the other guys from the Yotunai family that helped me out in the Gilgamesh channel. So, hope this video was helpful. You have some more, if anyone wants to try this setup, and let me know. It would be great. So, thank you for watching. Bye.